Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Jim, and this is Mad Realm's Vote to Kick with me, my fellow guest, Anthony Rigucci. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, man. I am hyped to discuss this. This is going to be, I don't think it's going to get heated because
No.
you're not like a heated person.
No, I try to stay pretty calm for debates, but
No.
if the title of the video and the stream hasn't tipped you off, we're talking about Fallout 76 tonight, and we just went full bore and went keep or kick on a single game. But before we get into Fallout 76, it's been, I want to say, almost a month or a month and a half since the last Vote to Kick, and that was when I had Age on after he was done with his crunch time for his dev job for mandatory overtime, and right over there we have the results of that. It's pretty decidedly kick for mandatory overtime as a concept.
That's funny.
I can't say I'm terribly surprised.
No.
Because working people into the ground is garbage.
So wait, you didn't do any shows in like December except for like the beginning? It's been that long? I knew you took a break, but I didn't know it was like the entire month.
Oh, it got to like I am holidayed out. I like my family, but I'm totally okay with the next 4 months of maybe seeing them once or twice before the next major holiday.
Yeah.
Yes, Tavik, Snape kills Dumbledore. So, now that I don't have to actually set things up, yay, magic. We're just switched over to the Keep Kick poll for Fallout 76. So, as per tradition, guests first, and I believe Fenris is going kick.
So I'm gonna come in here right now and say I think you should go first. I think your side is not like is more important than mine. Cause I'm the majority. You're not for a game that like nobody likes.
Yeah,
and I want to hear what you have to say. Not that I'm gonna like totally like switch what I'm gonna say to rebut you, but
right.
I think you should go first.
Well, like I said, it's guest choice, or it's guest privilege, so you're allowed to turn it back on me. At this particular juncture, I feel that it is necessary to take Fallout 76 and split it between concept and execution. Because I can't say anything good about the execution of Fallout 76. I will admit, when I heard about it, I was expecting it to merely be Fallout 4 without mod support. Like, I was just expecting it to be release Fallout 4 with the same bugs, but no modders to fix it. I didn't expect what happened.
Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone did, and no one could have. No one.
But my caveat here is the concept. So the concept of Fallout 76, the survival crafting base building system, is strong. I mean, I play Minecraft, so I love this kind of game. I enjoy the Fallout universe, so throw the building, crafting, survival stuff of something like Minecraft in with the Fallout lore and setting, and I think you have a recipe for a really good game. So it's not like it was a terrible idea. They flubbed a little on marketing because they made it seem like it was a bigger deal than it was. If this was a, hey, look at this thing while we work on Fallout 5. By the way, Fallout 5 is a thing.
And Elder Scrolls 6 is a thing.
Well, that's what they did with
that as well.
Like, well, that is literally what they did with Elder Scrolls Blades. Is they're like, here's Blades. By the way, here's like the 30-second trailer of just the zoom over the landscape of Elder Scrolls 6 with just the logo fading in.
Yeah, like, thanks for nothing.
Well, like, people lost their shit about that.
I mean, are you saying in a good way or a bad way?
In a
like,
good
lost
way.
Their shit, like, okay.
Like they saw the Elder Scrolls 6 logo, and I remember hearing people cheering, and people were like, yes!
Of course, like, how could you not be hyped, but like take yourself out of the moment and be like, that was fucking nothing. We still know nothing about Elder Scrolls 6.
It's Elder Scrolls, so
yeah,
have you heard of the High Elves?
Yeah.
But, and I think higher on the list of this conceptual thing is more the concept of game companies making a hard left out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because Fallout 76 is a niche product. Even if it went off 100% without a hitch, there are going to be people who play Fallout games because they want the single-player RPG experience that won't like it because it's not a single-player RPG experience.
Yeah.
The core of the people who want it would play it and would love it. And you have other game companies like the one that I had more, but they're just not sticking in my head, and I don't have my notes in front of me right now. Look at Blizzard with Hearthstone.
Okay.
Like, Hearthstone came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And people love it. Granted, I have my complaints.
And a spin-off of an existing IP.
Right. I have my complaint, and I mean, shit, look at Heroes of the Storm. Pour one out for Heroes of the Storm. But Heroes, I think, did fantastically well. I think it actually filled a niche in MOBAs that was missing. Like, in the spectrum, you have Dota 2, which I believe focuses a lot more on individual play, because turn speed is a stat for units. Denial is a thing. You can kill your own units to deny golden XP for the enemy team. And it just, I think you can carry solo a lot harder in Dota 2. League is kind of in the middle, and then Heroes of the Storm is much more about map mechanics. Mm-hmm. So you have to play the macro game, since everyone levels at the same time, there are no items. So it's one of those things where making the hard left out of a comfort zone can result in some fantastic games. But yeah, but admittedly, Fallout 76 is not one of them in execution, sadly. So that is my whole shtick here. Is I don't want the abject failure of 76, which, mind you, people still enjoy. There are people who like it despite the problems. And I'm not knocking those people. If you like a game,
I play it.
Just do, like you said, well, your experience of it is probably going to inform your side of the argument a bit more than me talking about people who enjoy the game. So,
yeah,
like,
true.
If you dig it, play it. Don't let anyone tell you to not play it, because if you like it, you like it, and go for it, man. But I think if people are super aggro about it, it could have a chilling effect on game companies doing that hard left and possibly giving us that breakout hit that no one expected from someone.
Yeah, there's always two sides to it. You know, it's obvious. It's either going to work or it's not. But I think with the case in Bethesda and Fallout 76, I don't think they could have anticipated anywhere near the backlash they got for this game. Not because it's not a good game. That's one thing, but like this collector's edition thing, like you can't, and like it was overblown because the game was not good. If the game was good and the stupid bag that they sent out was shit, I don't think anyone would have cared, because guess what? I've gotten tons of collector's editions with shit that just isn't good. It happens. I don't know, like, and nobody cares, but like, you know, everyone was grabbing onto everything they could. And I'm really not going to focus on the bag thing. Whatever. They screwed up. They're sending new ones out, whatever, but it's not the game. I'm out of here to debate a collector's edition. Fallout 76, I think, again, concept on paper, it's a cool idea. It's an MMO-like game, maybe like Destiny. It's probably a good game to compare it to, so we'll leave it at that instead of listing names off. You know, it's co-op, but it's also single player. You can play it both ways. And single player, it is insanely boring. For somebody who's played it, like, you think you're going to see a lot of people, but you really do not. You don't come in contact with anyone, really. Even when I first started, not in the beta. So when I first started the game, I didn't see anyone for like 3 hours. This is the starting zone. This is the first area. And like, you know, where a game's concept is, hey, we're taking all NPCs out of this game for the most part. There are some NPCs, and I mean, like, I can count them on two hands. There are some NPCs, but the players are going to take the place of computer characters. And it just doesn't work. People are shitty. Welcome to 2019. I almost said 18. It doesn't work. People grief. No one just is good to each other, like, off the bat. Like, everyone's instincts is to, hey, I'm just going to go kill this dude and take his shit. Like, that's the instinct of people. Maybe not everyone. That's, you know, it's a generalization. Not everyone is asshole in games off the bat. But for the most part, that's how people act. I walked out of the vault in beta, and I was getting shot at. Like I just walked out. I had nothing on me. And I think Bethesda relied too much in what we as a human race are capable of in a video game. Like, I know that is really like broad, but like they put too much faith in us. And we as a player base and a community are not enough to support a game, because like it's like half of the game is made by Bethesda and the other half is supposed to be created by us or simulated by us, and that doesn't really work when the game isn't good to begin with.
Right.
And it's half a game, and it's just recycled content from Fallout 4. Literally, I don't think there's, besides like a few melee weapons, like there's no new guns. You verse like different types of ghouls. You verse super mutants. You verse the same shit you do in every Fallout. There's some cool new monster looking things, but they're like few far in between. Like, you don't see them that often. They're not abundant. The abundant things are the Scorched, which are essentially feral ghouls, but like they're mutated a little differently for the sake of explaining them.
They're ghouls, but on fire.
Yes, you know, kind of.
Well, how do you make something more evil? Make it on fire.
Yeah, and then, you know, the reuse of the dragon system with the Scorch Beast. They're just dragons in Skyrim.
I've seen the animations. Yeah,
it's just like, what the hell, Bethesda? Like, I don't understand like where they thought this was a good idea, or where Todd Howard didn't step in and be like, let's hold up, this isn't good. Especially, so I don't know if you know, the game, I'm pretty sure on the box, I'm gonna grab the box. It says it's made by Bethesda Game Studios, and that's not true. It's made by 5 companies within Bethesda. It's not true. It's made by, like, okay, so you know the team that was making Battlecry?
I don't even know what Battlecry is.
Okay, so it was a canceled game that a studio that Bethesda picked up canceled. So they canceled the game. Bethesda picked this team up and integrated them into the Austin studio in Texas. I don't know what their name was. Somebody, hopefully in chat, knows what I'm talking about. But it was like a Team Fortress third-person game, and it was like more bloody and melee combat. I don't know. Anyway, it got canceled. And they picked this team up, and then they have other teams. I can't really name off the top of my head, but they have a lot of other teams, like the team who makes Dishonored. They're Bethesda people. The people who make Doom.
Arcane.
The people who make Doom and Wolfenstein. You know, same thing. They're part of Bethesda. But a lot of teams had a hand to play in this game. It was not just one team. When 5 teams make a game, you're not going to have a good time. You're not going to have a good time.
I can speak from experience that when you have multiple people, like from development experience, now granted it was websites, but I was just trying to integrate a marketing team and a development team, and that was, granted, I was way out of my league acting as a project manager when I was 2 years out of college, but that was a time. I don't know. Like, I can't really refute a lot of the issues that cropped up. I mean, it's kind of like a lot of the things that we end up finding out about with, say, Mass Effect Andromeda, is that, you know, we had people...
It's a great game to parallel this, actually. And Anthem is vastly approaching with little to zero information. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but...
It looks pretty. That's all I really know about Anthem.
The armor looks cool.
Yeah.
Destiny 2, but not.
It's Destiny 2, but not. I can't.
Really
I
what
can't.
it is.
I
It's
can't
so
disagree
sad.
with that. But it's one of those things where there are, and this is one of the things where I'm sitting here, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be keep. I'm supposed to be arguing to defend the game, and I'm like, yeah, but I've literally laid out my entire thesis, and you've agreed with me that the concept is strong.
Yeah, it is. And there
And
are some good parts to Fallout 76. Do not get me wrong. The bad and all this bullshit, who cares? Who cares about the good? Because this game, for the most part, is utter crap. Hi, Magni.
hi, buddy. This is the Y face. So
He's commuting. Let him commune. But it's sad because Bethesda. I know on Kind of Funny podcast, which I listen to a lot. A question has come up. Hey, can Bethesda like do E3 this year? And they answered, and my answer is no. They can't. They can't just do E3 without talking about this first, coming out. Pete Hines is definitely gonna come out at some point and be like, listen, we fucked up. And Todd's gonna turn around and he's like, yeah, we fucked up. They have to. They have to. They can't not. There's no consensus that Fallout 76 was a good game. Maybe it has some good parts to it, but as a whole, Fallout 76 is bad.
it's like Suicide Squad.
There's I
good,
don't know if I go that far.
there's good stuff in it,
There is.
but
hey,
the
man,
overall
Oscar
package.
Suicide Squad. It won a fucking Oscar. How can we deny that?
Did it win an Oscar for best trailer and that's it?
Best costume design, which I think it deserves.
It's a superhero movie. If a superhero movie doesn't win best costume, then superhero movies are doing something wrong.
Point. You got a point, but if you're gonna address it, it's the Oscar award-winning Suicide Squad. Just,
Yeah. Deo, thanks for coming out, man. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Have fun.
Sorry, my dog is barking.
That's okay. I just I sit and I look at some of the technical issues of Bethesda games, and basically Skyrim and Fallout 4. I've played a bunch of both of them.
Yeah.
I sit and I look, it's like, yeah, we don't have public mod support for this one. And I'm just like, that's the only reason Skyrim has Skyrim and Fallout 4, the only reason they have the play hours they do, and Oblivion, for that matter, the only reason Bethesda games have the play hours that they do is because of mods. Because, I mean, you have stuff like Project Skywind, and I don't know what they're calling the Oblivion one, but people are basically rebuilding Morrowind and Oblivion with the Skyrim map creator. It's like, you don't get stuff like that unless you...
and Bethesda, for the most part, especially with Fallout 4, really have, embraced the modding community. And like you just said, there's proof in the pudding, man. Mods have kept Fallout and Oblivion and, Fallout 3 and New Vegas and Oblivion and Skyrim alive for all these years. Oblivion's a glorified meme at this point. The game is fucking hilarious. I don't know if you, gone back and watched Oblivion. It's holy shit. This game is kind of shitty, but the mods just it's oh, it can be kind of good.
I'll admit I haven't gone back to,
actors.
I haven't gone. I never finished it. To be fair, I've also never actually finished playing Skyrim at this point.
Can you really finish playing
I've never finished the main plot.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. I was just being funny.
I haven't finished Fallout 4 either, but I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things where I sit and I look at it and I'm kind of sad. I'm not even angry about this.
It is a sad story. It really is.
It could have been so great, but it feels like it got rushed.
I really don't think it could have been great.
It could have been good. Let me rephrase that.
I think if another studio took helm of 76, it would have been good. Obsidian, example, in my opinion, New Vegas is better than Fallout 3. And a lot of people think that. And it's a spin-off Fallout game by Obsidian, who is now making the main competitor to Fallout, the Outer Worlds, which looks absolutely fantastic.
Well, to be fair, I look back at Fallout 3 and I'm like, that's the only game I've ever actually pirated. And then I bought a copy.
Why'd you pirate it?
because a friend of mine had a disc and he was like, "Hey, you want a copy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And this,
Okay.
it was like close to release. I didn't have the money to buy it, and I played it. I'm like, "This game's great," but by the time I actually got around to playing it, it was like 2 or 3 months before Game of the Year came out. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna play the DLC piecemeal game. I'll just wait for Game of the Year, and then I will pay full price for Game of the Year. I mean, I've said it on Talking Script before, Kit. Like, I will fess up to this, but like, I bought the game, and I totally, I made sure Bethesda got their money for it because I enjoyed the game and I thought they deserved the buy from me. But crap, what was it? So there is another survival game that I actually got to talk to the devs for at PAX East 2018. It's a game called Rend.
Okay.
And all of the devs for Rend were, I believe, from other survival crafting game, various. They were around the genre. So
yeah.
one of their main concern, like, they all came together because they thought that the standard formula for survival crafting building games was broken, like inherently broken, because it incentivized griefing.
Yeah.
Which was my primary concern going into Fallout 76, because I looked at it and I'm like, those nukes, people are going to strong arm the codes. You're going to have servers where nobody can outdo the people who already have their shining fortress on the hill. It's going to be a
I'll tell you
brotherhood.
from experience, that system doesn't play out the way they anticipated. You don't like race over them. Like, everyone, like, from what I've experienced, everyone just gets together and gets all the nukes and launches them.
It's one of those things where it was too much of a griefing tool, because and the thing that, and then on top of that, to kind of undo that, they have like the dynamic server system, which does not work.
Doesn't work
for stuff where you have to build something.
So so whenever you, like, I'll give them credit for this, because in the way of like your house going to other servers, they changed it where so if you leave a server and come back, your house will still be in the same spot. If somebody's house was in the same spot as yours before, it got rid of it and like it went back into your stash, but now it just like moves somewhere else. But again, there aren't that many people on a map at the same time because of just the way it's designed, that will really be an issue. Unless there's like the superior spot, which apparently there are. That I was actually at work, I was like, where's the best place to build a house? Because I need to build a better house. Yeah. Because there are. They are like, I haven't explored the house building stuff that much, but it's pretty expansive to what Fallout 4 had. I'm not sure if you delved into Fallout 4's enough, but it's pretty rudimentary in Fallout 4. Like, I mean, like, you can do like some pretty cool shit, but like, it's very limited, especially in a game where you're building scrap fucking sheets for houses. Like, you're really not doing much anyway.
I mean, to be fair, the one mod that I consider essential to Fallout 4 at this point is Sim Settlements, which builds settlements for you.
Dude, that's yeah.
The settlement, I'm sorry, Todd, the settlement system in Fallout 4 does not just work.
It was definitely an afterthought in Fallout 4, and I was like, okay, I like it, but it's not that good. It probably needs improvement. It was, you know, if we look at Skyrim, the Hearthfire. I was gonna say Hearthstone. I was like, it's not that. I know it's Hearth something. Hearthfire is like the predecessor to Fallout 4, and then 4 to 76. And I assume Elder Scrolls 6 will have the next best thing. And honestly, I think it would work better in those kind of games anyway, because you can actually build a house. You can't really build a house in Fallout 4.
Well,
or
like, and it kind of comes down to, my primary gripe is the server system. It honestly could have done a hell of a lot better, I think, if it had something along the lines of something like Minecraft, where you can have local, where you can open up to LAN, and you can have like
big mistake. No private servers. Big mistake. Huge mistake.
Well, whenever you're trying to make something permanent, you need to have the ability to always connect to the same server. I know everybody's sharing the same map, but at the same time, like, if you want to build something, and you want people to be fighting over resources, you kind of have to have people who are around steadily enough to interact with each other. That's one of the problems I heard about with the PvP system, is that you can't even get revenge on someone because they'll just log out, log back in, and get shunted to another server.
Or they're just impossible to kill. I had some, like, I mean...
The damage bug, yeah.
The people around your level are, I guess, kind of fair. It depends on what gun you have. If you have a shotgun, you're winning, you know. It's not good. Yeah, again, everything in this game feels like an afterthought. It feels like barely any effort was put into it. The story's just like, oh, I'm gonna go follow like the overseer out of the vault, and like, guess what happens? Like, I couldn't even tell you because I haven't beaten the game, but like pretty much nothing. Like, you're following, like, oh, she's like observing what's going on. Excuse me.
Don't die.
Sorry. And everyone's dead. Everyone. And I mean every fucking person in this valley is dead. There's no one alive. No one. Everyone's robots and everyone's dead. Like, that's the explainer. Like, oh, like, the responders were around, like, at some point, but they're dead now. Now you're going to listen to all their holotapes of when they were around. Even raider camps. There's no raiders. They're all dead. Like, it's weird. Like, they had to write themselves into this situation.
Wait. So there aren't even raiders yet?
No, they're dead. No, there are raiders. They are dead, though. Or not in this area anymore. For I don't know why. I haven't gotten there. But you find out, like, some events, like, the raiders kill a lot of the responders, and the responders eventually all die out, or they move on. I don't really know. I'm not there yet. I'm not there in the story yet. I haven't beaten it. But a lot of the, like, you find out that, like, there was this flood, and it flooded Charleston, and it killed a lot of people, and the Scorch wiped out a lot of the raiders and the responders, and even the Brotherhood and the Enclave, who I really haven't met in the game yet. They're all dead or gone, and the Brotherhood breaks the lore of being there anyway. They shouldn't exist in the East Coast at this point. Like, there's a lot, we haven't hit that yet, but this game breaks canon and lore. Like, it's crazy.
Like, it's what, 20 years after the bomb?
Yeah, the Brotherhood didn't move to the East Coast till Fallout 3, or a little bit before. Elder Lyons from Fallout 3, he's the first one to go to the East Coast in the Brotherhood, and that's why that sect of the Brotherhood is so different from the West Coast that you see in Fallout 4, because they're more West Coast oriented, or at least they went back to that, where they're more technologically driven, not helping people, claiming technology and saying, you know, fuck everyone else. We just want the tech.
Bravo, Zekriox, by the way. I appreciate that. Fallout 76% of a game.
Probably a little too high, to be honest.
I think the one thing that bugs me the most after enjoying going through all the vaults and finding out what the hell Vault Tech was doing in each vault in both Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, shout out to Gary, and also Gary, and also Gary. The super mutants are in Fallout 76.
And they shouldn't be.
No.
Yeah, breaks lore. Why are they there?
And I kind of look at that and it's like, that's kind of one of the big deal. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why it's
a big deal.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons it's taking such a big hit, is because all the, like, half the reason you end up playing a Bethesda game at this point is for the story. And then you've got all the lore hounds, and it's like, there's a YouTuber I follow, Hello Future Me, who has been doing deep dives into the history of Tamriel. Like, I learned about how the Thalmor came to power from his videos.
Yeah.
And it
like old Concordant, man.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's like, learning all that backstory makes it feel more deep. Like, knowing what's going on makes more sense.
Yeah. And Fallout's the same way. Same way, you know?
And honestly, I feel like I almost feel like they could have done procedurally generated without having the vault name, like, tied to it. And it's just like, or like, call it Fallout 76, but like do the same thing with Minecraft, is just like, you are at 000 and procedurally generate the map around you. But
how can you do that when
it's real? It's
based
history. Off
the United States of America. Yeah. It's kind of tricky, especially when your world is based in ours. Just different. You know, it's hard to say. I think the big question here is, I think this started with the lore stuff. I think that's really when the negativity started in the beta. And not that the game was bad, which it is, and people realize, but the lore, people were like, the Brotherhood, what? But then like now it's exploded to so beyond that. And like, what is Bethesda gonna do? That's why I say kick this game, because it's like ruined their reputation. Like it's not even that the game's bad. Bethesda has to dig themselves out of this hole somehow, because whatever their next game is, man,
it has to be good.
The bugs. Remember how we dealt with those bugs in 4 and 3 and New Vegas and Skyrim and Oblivion and every other game they put out? You can't do that anymore. There's no more bullshit from Bethesda. They can't fuck it up. They can't. They don't have a choice. Their reputation's on the line. Well, everything they've stood for, man, is gone.
That's something that I sit and I look at, and I wonder, when Skyrim came out on the Switch, there were...
What about the toaster port?
The toaster port. Skyrim on the Alexa.
Yeah.
Skyrim on your Pip-Boy. I don't know if that was a Photoshop or if somebody actually did it. I saw
that's hilarious.
In Fallout 4. Something, yeah. There were day one Skyrim launch bugs in the Switch port. And it's one of those... I don't know, granted, that is anecdotal. I have just heard that. I think it was actually from Jim Sterling, because he bought it, because of course I bought it, because I love Skyrim and I can't help myself. I believe were his words, but...
Yeah, I mean, I imagine the Switch port sold pretty well. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, because, you can kill dragons as Link.
Yeah,
But...
Skyrim's a good game.
It is. It's a fantastic game. I just sit here and I wonder, it's like they're riding off of the success of their modding community, and then they try and monetize mods and they do it wrong.
Because they just don't know how to... It's not that the modding community is chaos. It's really not. I mean, it is to a degree.
Well, when they initially tried to monetize mods through Steam, it was chaos, because people were literally just pulling mods from the Nexus and uploading it as their own. And
yeah. It was bad.
Yeah.
And that was 3 days. I'm pretty sure. And I don't even think it was like a week.
And I think at this point we're kind of going around in circles, because we've been talking bad about the game ever since my spiel at the front of the concept is strong. So I think it just comes down to concept, keep, execution, kick.
And I say kick because what this game has done to a company that people love, that has established universes and worlds that have set a base for everything else. Fallout 3 was like a huge deal. Oblivion was a huge deal. Skyrim is a huge deal.
I can still hear the sound of the Lincoln repeater from Fallout 3 in my head.
Yeah, I can too. Yeah, like they're iconic games that and like Bethesda's only become an iconic company. And I mean, Fallout wasn't even their IP. Let's not forget. And they bought that IP from Interplay. They revived it. It was dead. Fallout was not a thing for a long time. And they came around and like, hey, like, I think we can do something with this. And they changed the game. It was not a third-person hybrid RPG shooter. It was a top-down RPG. Turn-based RPG.
Was it like a tactics game, I think?
Do you know what Wasteland 2 looks like? Or like, it's like Divinity.
Oh, okay.
It's like that. It's like, I mean, probably like not as in depth, obviously at the time. They were made in the 90s. But like, that's what they were. They were very niche. And it's sad. It really is. Like, I had to go kick because I can't justify what this has done to Bethesda, because Starfield is their next new IP, which they've announced that's coming out. Like, what is it? What does this mean for Starfield? What does this mean for Elder Scrolls 6? What does this mean for Elder Scrolls Blades? Like the repercussions of this game are just immense, and we haven't seen it yet, but we're gonna. Like Bethesda or E3 2019 is the first time you know, they might not do a press conference. And like, if they don't, like, I don't blame them. I don't even know if they have anything to show this year. Maybe besides like Doom Eternal. I know Wolfenstein definitely won't be there. You know, I don't know what they have because past few years they've had games to show, so that's why they've been there. But they haven't done a press conference every year. Maybe this is the year they were going to skip, but they're going to skip even more now because of 76. And like everyone's going to be like, oh, well, it's because 76, not because they don't have games to show.
I mean, basically the next major press conference that they need to do is they have to drop Starfield and they have to impress people. Starfield has to be nigh technically perfect. The next Elder Scrolls and Fallout games have to be nigh technically perfect. I know I didn't get to watch. Excuses. I didn't get to watch the Young Yeah video where he spoke to Jason Schreier from Kotaku
about what.
Well, they were doing that back and forth through via article and video.
Oh, really?
And well, it was the comments that Young Yeah made about the creation engine and about how clearly it is the fault of the creation engine because there are bugs that have been showing in creation engine games for every iteration since the inception of the creation engine. And Jason Schreier put out an article that was talking about how a game engine is not a single program, and basically saying that people need to stop harping on them like a game engine is this immutable thing. And then I saw a video where I guess it was like a Skype call or something. I didn't get to watch it. I think it released on a day where I don't usually have the time to check YouTube. But it is clear that even though Bethesda is iterating on the creation engine and updating the tools in the toolbox that is the creation engine, there needs to be a major change.
100%.
Because it is clearly, despite the fact that Todd Howard, I believe it was Todd Howard, said that it allows them to generate games very quickly and easily, it is clear that there are inherent problems in the creation engine that are weighing down the positives.
And when Todd Howard goes out on stage during their press conference and make a joke that their games are buggy, that's saying something. And now in perspective of when that happened and after 76's launch, there's an issue there. Like I've been saying for years, but even before 76, they need a new engine and there's no excuse. They're making moolah over there off games. There's no excuse for a new engine.
I mean, Skyrim's still getting them new game sales on multiple platforms. So
yeah, it's like, well, like let's look at Rockstar for an example. From GTA 5 to Red Dead Redemption, like their games are like huge. Absolutely. I would probably say Red Dead Redemption 2 is bigger than any Elder Scrolls game by miles. There's a lot going on in those worlds. And Red Dead Redemption 2 has had like the funny bugs, like where I don't know if you saw, like there was this one portion of a road where like a horse and carriage would go by and it would just ignite in fire. And like there was just like this pile of like dead horses and people. That's like, okay, that's funny. That's like,
wait, it would just burst into flames.
Yeah, they would die.
I did see the one where like a guy like whistled for his horse and the horse catapults over the horizon.
Yeah, like there's a lot of funny bugs in Red Dead Redemption 2, but I've never heard of anyone go, oh, Red Dead is broken. It's not. I played through the whole game and I barely had any bugs happen. I had one bug during a side mission, but I was able to fix it by like just getting an item and having something. Like the game didn't supply me with an item that I needed to finish it. You know, it's like there's no excuse when your competitors are just like being like, hey, yeah, we have a lot of money too, and we're gonna make a good game.
And then
like I don't know what the excuse is.
With CD Projekt Red, with the Witcher series,
it's another great example.
So I think that's about our wrap up here. Is that Bethesda had a good concept, failed on the execution, and now they really need to step up their game. But this wasn't Keep or Kick Bethesda. This was Fallout 76. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you on YouTube, please cast your vote. The poll is in the description. Let us know in the comments what you think and your arguments for whether you voted Keep or Kick. And like I said, my keep is I don't want to discourage other gaming companies from making hard lefts out of their comfort zone. And then Anthony's kick is, goddamn, you had a good thing.
You turned a scar into a gaping wound that
You
is going to
mucked
be
it up.
really hard to fucking heal.
But, ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, Jim. You can find me on Twitter at MalFantasMMO. You can find Vote to Kick live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Yes, we changed the time. I'm going to the gym before the show and then streaming after so that I'm not awake until 2 in the morning. And you can find Fenris over there on Twitter at _the_gooch_.
Okay, wait, I got a better way to say it. The Gooch, put an underscore in between and after every word.
Or just search for Anthony Rigucci and then
Yeah, you'll find me.
you'll get him.
Not hard.
Or Delco Nerd Network.
Yeah, my we do 3 a month podcasts. We do reviews, talk about other nerdy topics going on. We just did a podcast on CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover that's going to be coming out in 2019.
And
then we can
always talk, and we still need to do that review.
I know, dude. You talk to me anytime you want, man. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the call.
I'm halfway through Wonder Woman, so.
Oh, you're halfway through Wonder Woman. You didn't finish it?
No, I didn't. I couldn't finish it in the one sitting. But, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Mad Realms Vote to Kick. You can follow us on Twitter at Mad Realms. That's 2 A's in the Mad. You can also find us on YouTube and here on Twitch, twitch.tv/MadRealms. I hope to see you all next Wednesday, and catch us live on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for our weekly Guild Wars 2 news podcast, Talking Script, with my fellow hosts, Age, Arlie, and Deo. Hope to see you all there, and I hope you all have a fantastic evening. Good night, everybody.